Good afternoon, everyone. It is a great pleasure to be here at Pocket Gamer. Actually, this is my first time to be here, and I learned many things already and visited great companies like Supercell and Ravio, and also met some great people and great teams here, and just very happy to be here. And we also plan to have handover for tomorrow morning. So it is actually one of the best events that I've attended. My name is Chen. I'm from Spellgun. It is a publishing partner based in San Francisco, and we are focusing on finding Western games for China market. We know a little bit about game design and development, and we do spend most of our time studying China market and think about how can we help our partners to be successful in China, and what types of game will be popular next, what's the trends, and how to help an already popular game to be more profitable in China. I'm very happy to be here to share a few things about China, and I think William did a great job sharing those great data about China, and I think most of the data that I'm going to cover through have a slight difference because all the data sources are all over the places, so I apologize for that first, and hopefully the information I'm going to share with you guys is going to be very helpful. Forward this one. Well, oops. Well, I'm a game lover, and my favorite game is Minesweeper, and maybe someone can turn this game into a mobile game. 2 years ago, very few Western developers had interest in China. Simply because it is small. And today, we are become the #3 in terms of revenue by Apple, and we are about to be the #2 with $3 billion revenue for this year. And today, we have 300 million to 700 million smartphone users. The gap is based between a US data source versus Chinese data source. So it's a big gap, and we don't know who to believe. However, both data sources agreed that 92% of the smartphone users play games. So that's a good news. So on average, we have more than 100 new games coming up on the market on a monthly basis. So it has become a very crowded market. So China today is a very sweet spot of massive growing stage. So with a 3 billion market cap expected for 2014, there is a 175% increase compared to last year. So roughly 30% coming from iOS and 70% coming from Android. And it's almost exactly opposite from the US market, Western market versus iOS and Android. Maybe because we are on the other side of the globe. As we all know, 3 billion is highly fragmented into between iOS and Android. William already shared this data, so I'm going to sort of quickly bypass through it. So the other 50%, 1 billion market, are mainly from 200 different fragmented Android channels, and some of those channels are mainly based in Tier 3 and Tier 4 cities. So we will say that some of those platforms are consolidating through merger and acquisitions, and the other 50% is difficult to consolidate because geographically it's also spread out, and every different channels have their own target audience. So therefore, it is equally important to cover those areas, which is the lower 50%, 1 billion market there. Today, according to the data I found on the internet, 60% income for mobile games comes from Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities, and 40% come from Tier 3 and Tier 4 cities. And half of those users use mobile carriers to download and play games. Half of them use Wi-Fi. So mobile carrier service is more expensive in China than compared to Western world. So the size of the game is quite critical, because if the download size is too big, it might be too expensive for some users to download. But with 4G coming up soon, we are, of course, the high-end market is expected to have higher quality games in terms of gameplay and quality, and also special effects and etc. And new innovative gameplays or more hardcore, I think, will be very important for those high-end market. Some very simple data. So average of 2 to 3% of users actually pay for the game, and the average monthly spent is about $38 to $40. So those are some of the games that we listed. Make the most money. From hardcores and midcores and also casual games. I think those titles are very familiar, so I'm not going to go through details. There's talking data analyzing last year, 70% of all mobile games revenue were derived from card battling RPG and MMORPG games. And the rest comes from casual games and the others. So in general, that's pretty much all the great news about Chinese market. It's huge, and with a lot of opportunities. And next, I'm going to talk about a little bit about not so good news. First of all, in China, you need a permit to almost for everything. So mobile game will be highly regulated in the near future, and the government is already start asking for profitable companies to apply for permits. And localization, I think a lot of the speakers before me already shared, how difficult it could be. Typically Chinese players would prefer pay to win. So if they have paid and still haven't won the game, I think it will be a big problem for them. Aside from that, and also I think Asians have different color recognition system than Western peoples because our eyes are brown. So most popular Asian games that you guys see has like higher, color concentrations and stuff, and etc. So localization could be a little bit challenging. Payment solutions, we do have a lot of payment solutions, aside from PayPal, online banking, and prepaid, etc. We also have payment through carriers. I think it's easy to imagine because we have very highly fragmented Android market. The next problem that we're gonna, you're gonna run into is probably copyright. It's probably one of the best problems you're gonna run into because at least your game is popular. With 1.35 billion population, is that right? And in 30, 40 different provinces and hundreds of cities. I think it could be quite difficult to do marketing events, especially live ops. It needs to be quite frequent and relatively to Chinese holidays to be able to have effective marketings. Customer service. I've never done customer service myself. But imagine like hundreds of thousands of daily active users, it should not be too easy and must be a lot of fun. Well, billings, based on many payment solutions, SDK is probably one of the easiest problems to solve. But collecting money sometimes could be pain in the ass, sometimes it will take a few months, and certainly we don't want people to take advantage of that. So given all those issues here, I'm not here to discourage you, but to address that China has many great opportunities, and it is not very difficult to fit into the market if you find the right partner. So what are the key factors to be successful in China? And if you're successful already elsewhere, and how to continue the successful experience in China, and it's a very good question that I've been asking for myself and also asking my partners. And for us, it's been, we've been struggling and discuss about this because there are hundreds of great-looking, fun play-to-game and great games in the Western market, and only very few of them are actually successful in making money in China. So, there's a lot of case studies that we went debate and, against each other in my teams and talk about, what are the the ones that's more successful than the others? Is it the localization? Is it the game itself? You know, there are games that's been very successful in China with very minimum localizations. I think we all know what are those games. And there are games that we did massive localizations. You know, aside from the logo, there's nothing about the game is the same for the China market. So you probably have the same questions as we do. And of course, I can't give the answer so easily, but I'm going to share a story that what we did in China for our developers here in Finland. So it's the Angry Birds story. You know, we have been very fortunate to work with Ravio, given that we were chosen among other 200 publishers in China. And Ravio, as we all know, did self-publishing globally, and we are their own, the only partner in China publishing their games on Android platform. What we did for them, aside from we helped their team localize the game, we sent our team actually to Finland to help them to localize the game from premium to almost free-to-play game. And given that we have a proven track record of past experience working with zombies for the past 2 years, and since we are a public company, so we have the advantage being transparent, and also we are not a platform or binded with any channel, so we are neutral in different mobile channels. And we cross-marketing to promote the birds with a #1 TV show where you can see on the screen. This last year. And I think what we achieved is quite good, because one of the main reasons for Ravio to come work with us is because they don't have problem with number of downloads. But not as the earning is not as expected. So having partnered with us, we have achieved 100 million downloads. On the first month we launched this game, and one single day promotion downloads was 14 million. And right now on average it's about 1.7 million to 2 million a month. And we did this for birds, and we also helped PopCap with Planet with Zombie 1 and 2 in China. So for zombies, I don't think I have the slides here because we are in Finland. But the result is quite impressive. We have 15 months continual growth for the game. And, you know, if I remember correctly, the monthly revenue is about around 5 to 6 million right now. So just a little bit about who are we. We are a listed company in China with more than 2,000 employees across the country in 27 different provinces. And we have been working with mobile carriers for over 10 years. Because we were sort of in the short messaging business and sort of slowed down. So we stepped into mobile about 2.5 years ago. And we have, some PVZ ones. Those 10 are the well-known Western games that we published, for PopCap, Bejeweled, Birds, and Bad Piggy. And also we published some RPG, traditional Chinese RPG games as well, and the performance is all pretty good. And the lower portion is just some of the carriers and partner channels that we work with. So that's pretty much about everything, and we're supposed to have a conclusion, but it's such a huge market and so much opportunities. I really don't know what to conclude, but I think the best message will be that we will be here for another few hours. So if you have interest, maybe more questions, just feel free to drop by our booth and talk to us. Thank you.